I love Son-in-Law.
Son-in-Law is actually really good.
Biodome's good too. That's early. We're talking about early Shore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Biodome. I said for some reason Son-in-Law was hitting. Like I love the dad in Biodome. His name is Lane Smith. That actor is just one of my favorite like character guys. If you see him, he's usually really good. He just always plays a fun character, and it's the little characterizations that I love about him. I stole one of his. In My Cousin Vinny, do you know this movie at all really well? There's a scene where he's in front of the jury, and he's given his dissertation, and it's like, and the tire tracks were identical, and he slaps his hands together and pops them like that, identical. And it was just a fun little flourish that he used. And so I was doing a show about the Ugly Duckling called Honk. And I was the dad, so I'm kind of the a-hole of the show, to be honest, because in Honk the musical, the mama gives birth to the ugly duckling, and the dad is like, he wants no part of it. He's like, he kind of almost like winking, like, were you messing around? Like, this ain't my son, and like, totally hands off. And there's a part where I'm in a kind of a soliloquy mode, and I'm talking to the wife, and I'm talking about how crazy this is that we've got this son that doesn't look anything like me. Great actor. We were talking about Pauly Shore, by the way, just to bring you up to speed.
Bonesy's eating a Slim Jim. Bobby's clapping. What's going on, guys? Good morning.
Hey, you love that somebody comes in. Chomps.
No free ads. Yeah, no free ads. Bree, I don't know if you know Pauly Shore at all.
What? That'd be a Pauly Shore education. It's like, hey, what are we doing today? I've got Pauly Shore 101, so I'm watching in the Army now.
This is my homework.
My homework.
So that brings up a really good point, because something I've been talking about for probably the last 5 years, maybe even a decade. There's been like the death of quotable movies recently, and like recent is like 5 to 10 years from now, or like ago. Yeah. It like basically died after Dumb and Dumber. There's not a lot of movies out there. Like, well, I would say Dumb and Dumber. When did Anchorman come out? It was like Anchorman.
Dumb and Dumber, yeah. I think Anchorman's the next tier.
There aren't like, I don't know, Bree, tell me like a movie that you've seen. I was
going to ask. I want to hear Bree's opinion, because maybe we're just not watching the movies that are quotable anymore, Bo. I mean, as you get older, somebody who grew up with Gone with the Wind saying, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. They were like, there's no more quotable movies anymore. Like, that was the 60s for them, So maybe we're just at that stage, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Phasing out.
Bree, I'd love...
Yeah. I mean, I think Anchorman rings a bell. I'm also not very well versed in like cinema quotes, so I'm not the right person.
Cinema quote game.
Yeah,
because they aren't coming out anymore. Like, yeah. You have no idea. This isn't a generational thing. Like, my parents, like Bobby's parents, like all grew up with quotable movies that were just like one-liner after one-liner after one-liner. And you're like, Ma, the meatloaf. And you're like, fuck yeah, I know that exactly what they're talking about there. Like, that just isn't happening anymore. I don't think.
There's probably less like uniqueness in like cinema these days. It's a lot of like rinse and repeat of the same stuff, just in a different font.
That's not true. Like Beetlejuice is back. So like Beetlejuice had quotes like in the 80s, and then now you're quoting the same movie, like, it's showtime or whatever. It's the same. Yeah. It's the same quote. I just looked up. AI is telling me that this is how Bo, I might agree with you. This is how bad it is out there. If AI can't give us solid movies to quote, the most quotable movies according to AI were A Quiet Place Part 2, not even Part 1. Part 2.
Quiet Place? What?
A Quiet Place. No. Are they even talking in that movie? I thought that's the point of the movie.
No.
Is it being quiet? So how this became the most quotable movie according to AI. American
the
Fiction
whole thing is silence.
And Dune 2. And Maverick and Top Gun Maverick. I'll give you Top Gun Maverick.
Okay, Top Gun Maverick and Dune 2. There are some quotes in
Top Gun
Dune
Maverick has
that
a
are
few
like,
quotes. There's a few quotable moments in there, that I've watched that movie 1,000 times already, so they're ingrained. I'm not sure they're that quotable, but they're there regardless.
okay, so you asked AI. So maybe there is a correlation here. Maybe I'm actually figuring out the why. So maybe movies are no longer quotable because of what Bree said, plus the fact that every movie turns into a meme or a TikTok trend like almost instantly.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is us quoting the movie.
Yeah.
That's a different type of quoting.
And then like the meme dies, and then you're like, I don't need to quote this part of the movie ever again. But like before memes, before TikTok trends or Instagram reel trends, it was like,
Sure.
oh yeah, this is my identity for the rest of my life. I'm going like,
yeah, trends like live and die so quickly now these days too. So if there was
That's the other thing
to be considered quotable, like that was so last week. That was that.
That's gone.
Yeah.
But that's a good point. The memes, like think about Wolf of Wall Street. I mean, all these. There's movies from the later 2000s that have those memes associated with them that we sometimes still use or still kind of generating out there. But like you said, that the shelf life is not the same, and the people in charge of picking up the mantle of quoting and moving these forward aren't doing it. They're either not going to the cinema as much, they don't care as much, or it's more meme worthy and it's gone in a week.
Yeah, the next best thing.
are you seeing yourself, Bree, like with some of these like Instagram reel trends, like what the hell is this? Or is it just like,
yeah,
okay, this is funny, but also now it's overused?
Yeah, and I think some of them are so like there's so many different segments of Instagram. Like you can be in one, like you can be in book talk, or you can be in like the song area, and it's like some of them don't even make sense. It's like, that's funny. Like everyone's laughing at it, but I have no idea what they're referring to. But yeah, they do like you get over them quickly, or they're stuck in your head for the entire week, and then it's like, please don't ever play that song ever again.
I just had one of my first boomer moments, which is like every time that I'm on TikTok and I see like somebody making fun of like an original video, and I've never seen the original video, like it suggests the search, like the original point of view. And why doesn't that ever bring me to the actual original point of view? It's just like all of the trends that say that as a title. I'm like, God damn it. That is not actually, I wanted to see the original. I wanted to see the awkward proposal that was on a deck. Like,
yeah, and I feel like mostly it shows that people are quoting from now rather than like movies. I can see more like reality shows. I feel like people are like quoting a lot.
The new movie quote is meme quote.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like you're re-quoting or you're redoing or you're whatever. It's not called one-upping, but if I tag on to one and I'm like watching the weird proposal going and then somebody does that and they're like watching me, and then all of a sudden there's like 5 levels in on this weird TikTok meme, people reacting to each other or building on it.
Yeah.
What is that? It's just reposting.
There's a name for that. Isn't there a name for when you
like
post on somebody else's post or reflect on it?
Stitch.
Yeah, that sounds right. I don't like TikTok that much. I'm more of a passive viewer than a participator.
I'm a lurker. I'm a big time lurker. Yeah, you got 3 lurkers, folks. Yeah,
1,000% a lurker on there.
Yeah.
But it's like
lurk.
My
lurking finger gets tired by the end of the day.
For a while. And then I just kept getting sent like texted TikToks, and it was like,
you had to.
I just got to join it. So
I don't have a TikTok account. I just look through the reels. Like the Instagram reels is probably my sweet spot.
Me too. Yeah.
You're like 2 months behind us on most of these trends. Yeah.
It's TikTok, it might not be around for much longer, so you guys will be the ones that are going to be outdated.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. You're right. We'll see. We'll see.
That lasted for like 9 business hours.
It was like the world ended though when that did happen.
Oh my god, yeah.
I was at like a bar outside and TikTok went down and everyone was like showing their phones, the notifications. I was like, this is really scary. Like, should I call my mom? Like, is everything okay? Yeah.
I got so much done in that 9 hours. Like I read a book, learned a new language, filed for taxes. It was
productivity at Holt went up. I don't know if
it was just like
insane.
insane.
Productivity at Holt went up by 300%. All of a sudden, I watched a Complete Unknown, the Bob Dylan biopic, and in there's a moment where they're going through the Cuba Missile Crisis. It's 1963, and Russia and the United States are getting to this boiling head of nuclear missiles in Cuba area, and people were freaking out. Like they're running around. It's like the end of the world. They're packing their bags. They're doing, and that's what I'm picturing. In TikTok, the same thing. It's like people are screaming out of the bar, like, I've got to, my bucket list. I've got to go.
My bucket list. Yeah, it's like the saves or like your feed. Like it was all bucket list.
Faster. I gotta look. I've got to look at them all. I've got to digest them.
That's how you know Bobby's not a TikToker, that he just bucket list.
Exactly. Is there a TikTok version of a bucket list?
Yeah. I mean, there is like things you need to do before you die.
Yeah.
It's just your whatever you saved on TikTok is your bucket.
My saves.
Your collections.
I'm going to get back to my saves. Can you download your saves at like the last moment before it goes? I'm downloading my saves.
That's what
I need a hard drive. I need somewhere. I need more cloud space.
It's just offline mode. I want 8 hours of TikTok just in case it goes down.
That's funny.
Then so today's topic is AI horror stories.
AI adoption. Justin's talked a lot about. Our guest today is Justin Carter, by the way. I think we all do. Do you know Justin at all?
You know Justin?
I've never met him, but I know he has a speaking session at DynamicsCon.
Yep. He does, yeah.
With Bella.
He's local here. He's a local Denver dude. The local Denver Dax dude. Anyway, he's talked a lot about adoption and how people can get ready. So I was interested to hearing his thoughts on that. But then maybe think about AI horror stories, like when you are adopting and you've adopted AI and what's happened. So that's why that became a good idea for the BS topic.
Justin is one of the OGs. So he
is.
I'll be interested to press him for some of those details because he's got a really interesting coming up story. So
there he is.
There he is right here.
Justin.
Hey, Justin.
Yeah, we're pretty complicated here, man. You know how it goes when you get to this level of production and importance in life. You need headphone notifications. You need all of that.
I think it's going through like a potato right now, Justin. So
goodbye, Justin.
I already miss him. It's weird.
That was the fastest interview we've ever had.
Say, he wasn't feeling too good about this guy.
Yeah.
He's gonna
wonderful recap. Justin was great.
Yeah.
The post.
I learned a lot. I mean, guys, I'm sorry we couldn't show you. It was all under NDA. We can't tell anything we talked to Justin about. But God, boy, it was. I mean, the tears, the laughter, all of it.
He was the first guest to guess the BS.
You'll never see it though.
Paragraph and
yeah. How's that? Is that better?
Yeah.
The volume's up again, but better. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me change down the gain here.
Yeah.
Is that better? From a gain perspective?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think we're good.
I can also lower it there. That's
perfect.
Better. Awesome. Cool.
All right. Hey, Justin, nice to see you. I almost said nice to meet you, just throwing a little joke there, but I think at this point, everybody knows that we know each other.
Have you officially met as co-workers, like in person?
Yeah.
You've been together in person? Yeah.
Oh yeah, we were just in Philadelphia together.
Okay.
So
before that, Houston.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So a couple times, yeah. Just enjoying time physically together than like in real life. And instead of this whole virtual hangout.
Right. There's no way to frolic when you're virtual. I mean, it's hard. You can do a little frolicking, but you can't do it nearly as nice as if you're in person together frolicking.
Right? It's like much like a walkie-talkie, basically, when you're virtual.
Yeah.
Okay, Justin, do you want to start with like a, quick introduction of yourself for those in the audience that may not fully understand your story?
Yeah, sit back, breathe. It's going to take a minute. Justin's been doing this a long time.
I am ready.
I'd particularly really love it if you delved into your Dax Dude story and like what inspired you to do that? Like what are your motivations still the same on contributing to the community as they were 10 years ago? And would love to understand that kind of like timeline, because you're, as I was telling Bree before you joined, you're one of the OGs, and you're the one of the type of people that people like to take pictures with at conferences and get autographs from. So would love to understand your story, understand like, hey, what motivates you to
I still
keep
have
doing
my
this?
2012 framed Justin Carter from Summit. So
I've got the bobblehead.
In all seriousness, Justin is one of the
time.
reasons I'm in the community and a part of it. So you're not wrong in his OG status.
Well, I appreciate the kind words. Yeah, I'm happy to dive into it. So I guess we'll start at the very beginning. So I was doing electrical engineering over at Purdue. I was really into microprocessors. That was kind of my thing. Was not very good at physics or chemistry at all, but the programming I was very, very good at, and I really liked assembly language. And then I took a course in VB.NET, doing Excel macros and everything. That was pretty important from from an analytical standpoint, a lot of MATLAB and stuff. So anyways, I really enjoyed that in binary. And then I was walking through the Purdue Union. I was a Purdue Boilermaker in 2006 and was going on the way to my senior year bowling class, because that's a thing. And I was getting ready to go grab some drinks at a place called Harry's Chocolate Shop, for those that know the area, and came across a booth with a company called Blue Horseshoe Solutions. They were very small. It was the CEO and the COO, Chris and Jen. And at the time, they were doing a lot of Manhattan Lawson and GP and AS400, and didn't really have anything with Dynamics. So it looked fun. Didn't really know much about it, but they were giving out baseball. So I was like, sweet, let me give this a look. I never even knew about consulting or anything, right? I was getting ready to go work at Motorola. I had already taken the LSAT, so I was looking to go do law, talk to a mentor. He said, stay out of law. It's 2006. The economy's going to tank. Trust me. And I did trust him. He's like, you don't want to be one of those lawyers that's getting out in 2009 and then there's no job for you. And he was right. Some of my other friends that did go to law school ended up starting a really, really successful brewery. It was a tough time in the economy. So he was saying, do something you're really good at. Programming would be perfect. Everybody down the line is going to need some kind of a background in programming. That's somewhat true sometimes, not necessarily, but it was helpful to have that. So I said, work for a small company. Blue Horseshoe was right around the corner from my parents' house. So I was like, wow, that's a crazy coincidence. So joined. We were starting up their AX practice, me and a couple other people. We became very good friends over the years. We were about like 25, 30 people at that time, I think. So it was still Wild Wild West days for those that remember the old AX things. Documentation was out there, but for the most part, we were just, putting in the hours, figuring things out, and trying to do the right thing. So we had some success there. It was great. Quickly, I found out that documentation was not good, and my secret sauce as to what would make me invaluable would be having a secret notepad or series of notepads with scripts and everything that I would write, so that if somebody needed something or I needed to execute on something like a batch job, I might be able to go in and quickly do that. So there was a lot of X++ stuff that wasn't documented, and the only way to know how to do it was to go comb through the AOT, tips and tricks to find those things. And then once you found, one method that actually used, SQL change tracking or something crazy like that, when we get into the later days with commerce, it's like, oh, now I know how to trigger that. That's cool. But maybe other things weren't using it.
Just threw away. I was helping Uray, Justin knows this, Uray Sportswear is where I was working in Colorado. I literally helped them get decommissioned a year or so ago in the evenings, and I was throwing away recycling pounds and pounds of AX manuals.
Yeah.
Printed manuals, yes.
Yeah.
documentation.
Yep, that's funny. Yeah, because I had those too, and at one time I was printing out those notepads and WordPads that I found, hey, it's easier if I can just search all my my directory for these different things to find certain things of code. Then I determined, hey, it'd be really good. There was a guy named Brandon, who I don't think blogs anymore, Brandon George, shout out to him. Him and Yoris also blogged, and it'd be, I was like, hey, this would be really fun if I could just search on the web in case I don't have my OneDrive with me. So then I just started putting things out on WordPress. WordPress was too much overhead for me at the time. I really didn't care to learn it, so I went to Blogger because it was easier. So I just started putting things out on Blogger. So anything that I would put in a notepad, I would maybe add a couple sentences or some, other information in there and then post it as a blog post. So I did that for a while, really enjoyed it. Felt like I was shouting into the void. Nothing was happening with it. I was like, oh yeah, I got 5 people looking at my one blog post that I posted, 6 months ago. And that was neat. Did it anonymously under the name Dax Dude just because I didn't know about secrecy things and sharing tips and tricks. Anyways, went on for a while. About 2013, I got nominated. I don't know who put me up for it or even knew I was Dax Dude, but I don't think they knew my name, but they reached out to Dax Dude, Microsoft did, saying, hey, we'd like to, you got nominated for this. And I was like, great. They're like, but we have to know your name. We can't, do a nom de plume thing. So I was like, well, good. So did a little digging. There was some talk from some people at my previous company saying, why would you share secrets? I won't get into that too much, but these are the edges that our team has, not necessarily just a me thing, right? Enabling other people, and I think that kind of came around, from being a smaller company and being in a really niche space where there wasn't a lot of documentation. But I ended up taking the plunge and just saying, hey, here's my name, threw it out there. I still don't know how many people know Dax Dude, is equivalent to Justin, which I personally kind of like, but Bobby and I are performers, singers and everything, and probably the one thing I didn't like about live performances was curtain call. I loved everything else about it, but I did not like curtain call. I like to go out after the show in the main crowd and just, talk and hang out. So I guess that's
my favorite part, by the way, especially if you're in costume, I being able to go out in costume. Like when I went out as the Wizard of Oz and I came out with my lion suit on, and the kids love it. I mean, it's special for them, and it's just fun to interact and hear how they appreciated the show.
Yeah.
So you stay in character, of course.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, always.
Okay, I want to make sure. You're not just like Bobby the lion. Yeah, very courageous. Yeah.
You should wear that when you go to DynamicsCon.
Yeah.
Be like, no. So that was fun. So I did that for a bit. There was some rockiness there. Got a little hairy. I was very happy with my job and where I was at, but not the whole community thing wasn't appreciated as much. Why? What's the end game here? And I really didn't have one. It was just helping me out. And hey, if someone else wants to look at this stuff, thumbs up. So the MVP thing was pretty special. I really enjoyed it. It was kind of my way of getting some, some kudos. I think finally in the past, maybe 5 years, I found benefit from the MVP thing in a very discreet way, outside of just, having friends and having a community. It was really just something on the side. So I think you were asking about how that's evolved over time. And when I first started, it was really
how have your motivations changed? Yeah,
to help friends out and credibility thing, right? I had a baby face. If I shave this off, I literally look like I'm 30 years old. So it's nice.
So you look older if you shave? Is that the?
Oh no! Right. I'm 25.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, we got there.
Everywhere. So it was nice. I've had comments from people like, here's this kid, can't be much over 30. What credibility does he have? And so if we're trying to solve an issue in a room and, they go on, well, let's just search Google on this thing, right? Because I can't remember. Then my blog comes up, or they pull up the blog and they're like, well, Justin, this is what I read on this one blog post. It was my blog. I'm like, oh no, I know that's valid here, but here's what we're actually looking at. Then people get a kick out of it, and it kind of helps with validating credentials, I guess, a bit. It's warm and fuzzy, right? I blog a lot. I kind of stopped doing that right around 2020 when I was trying to actually make some financial gain on that to help a company called try to monetize that stuff. Girls Who Code. I have 3 daughters, so I wanted to do some nonprofit stuff. So I started getting into potentially writing a book under Wiley Publishing. That is a story for a whole other day. And, created, probably about 60, 70 pages of in-depth documentation and ideas and really envisionment on things. And then, the people I was working with, I should have dug a little bit more into, but they were finance driven, money driven, and not the nonprofit like they said that we were getting into and helping. And that's not what I want to do. I'm not looking to make money off the book. So that went sideways. They published the book. Yay. Not mentioned anywhere in there, but probably about a third of it is me. Whatever. So anyways, that kind of soured me on blogging or publishing content out because I've seen a lot of it stolen over the years, and I don't like going out and just saying, guys, this is not what you're supposed to do. Don't take my stuff and find a way to monetize it. That's just nasty business. So I prefer going one-on-one mentorship, these community group things, whether it's the UG Summit in October or whether it's DynamicsCon Live. It's a lot of fun, going face to face, like what we were saying, Bobby, after the shows, right? Going out and talking to everyone. And there's always someone in the crowd. Hey, how did you get started? Who's your vocal teacher? Where do you take dance lessons? I get into ballroom dancing, swing dance lessons, here's stuff about that versus, this, right? If you want to do 42nd Street, you need to do tap dancing lessons. Trust me. So, you can stand up in front of a giant crowd of, 1,000 people and give generic advice, but it's never going to be as impactful as that one-on-one. So I guess that's where my head's at now. That's kind of how the Dax Dude stuff has changed. I am working on a couple other things in the pipe that I think are pretty exciting. I'm looking to start a newsletter that is going to be kind of like I guess this would be the unveiling because I came up with it last night at like 11 p.m. It was going to be called like either the Dax Dude Digest or, the Dax Dude Dispatch or something silly like that, right?
You could go Deets, the Dax Dude Deets.
I like that one too. That might be it. I like that. That's more dude-rific, right?
Right. We have to roll it. Is Deets still okay, Brie? Because we're trying to bounce off like what can be still used out there. Is Deets still?
Yeah.
Okay, we got a green light from somebody who's in the know on the pulse of like what's happening right now. So.
Yeah, I don't think Dax Dude Skinny would be good.
The Dax Dude Skinny.
So, what I am hoping to do with that is, most of the newsletters are, they all have different purposes and stuff. Mine is really going to try to be more of like a community hub where there's plenty of places to go get news, right? RSS feeds, we're kind of inundated with articles and news, but I kind of want to have things like a classified section. Hey, here's the Dax Dude ISV tool belt. Here's ones that I really like. If you have solutions that you also like, I'm happy to, put those on there too. But, we'll talk about, what people like, what they don't like. If you're going into the Expo Hall as an example, and you're getting ready to implement Dynamics, you're coming from 2009 to D365, it is overwhelming, whether it is payment processing, whether it is tax services, whether it is what the heck is base. And oh my gosh, AI is supposed to do all this stuff for me. It'd be nice to kind of have this like, hey, here's Microsoft Learn resources that I find helpful. Here's ISVs that I personally like. You're welcome to reach out to them and just say, hey, Justin, I got this from his newsletter. Thumbs up, cool. Reach out to me if you have questions about some of those things. Happy to help. But really bridging a gap that I think exists somewhere. So it's kind of more just a reference. Yeah, there's new news, but hey, maybe it's someone who is looking for a career change. Maybe they're an end user looking to get into consulting, and I'll get a question: how many people are out there looking for, someone with 20 years in finance experience but 0 with consulting? But I want to get into consulting and travel because now my kids are in college. Justin, who do you know? I mean, I knew some people like 2 months ago, 3 months ago. I don't know who is now. It's a lot of work for me to go and look, but I really want to help you out. So how about if I just put something like that in a newsletter, and then if someone else subscribes and like, oh, cool, well, yeah, we kind of are looking for that.
Yep.
reach out to me. I'll connect the dots. And so, people connecting to people, I guess, is my hope. And then, we'll see. I'm hoping to get something out by end of Microsoft fiscal year, and start using that to push my Dax Dude event, Bobby. Dax Dude and Friends.
Hey, Justin, that was awesome. When just so you know, when Bo asked, he was hoping you go back a little further. Could you start from like 5 to 10? Like, what were you like as a kid? No, we're
yeah. How'd you learn how to ride a bike? Like, talk us through.
Was it the
some of
push
that,
method and just go, or
Yeah.
did it take training wheels?
I ran into a mailbox the first time I was out on my own. I hit it with my neon green Huffy bike.
Yeah, I had one of those. I had a Mongoose. Yeah, so
Oh yeah.
love them BMX bikes.
Did you have the feet holders on both like the front and the back wheels?
No.
That was before my day. Yeah, we weren't doing tricks. Our tricks were like finding old plywood, putting it on top of concrete blocks, and jumping ramps and smashing your face into the wood, the giant
100%.
mud, hill that was across from it. Yeah, that's where we were.
Game.
So Justin, I've got a question for you. As a Dynamics dad, and you're also a dad of 3 daughters, correct?
That's correct.
Talk me through your morning. How are you in charge of breakfast? Because recently I've been placed in charge of breakfast, and I am stuck in a rut of like making pancakes every single morning. Help a fellow dad out with your breakfast routine for the kiddos. How do you push them out the door?
Yeah, so we're actually really lucky in Colorado. Our middle child, who's 5, goes to Montessori. They have breakfast there, and in Colorado they have free school lunches. So my oldest, who's 7 years old, she gets fed there. My youngest, she likes to sleep in, so she sleeps really well. So I in the morning I'm actually prepping for something called the Taco Bell 50K. If you're not familiar with that, yeah. So I'm trimming down weight and getting into some fighting shape here. So I get up and
that's a taco every mile, which is crazy that you can do
that's
that.
Nuts.
Until you get to the 13th mile, and then it's burritos the rest of the way. Yeah. Full Tex-Mex buffet.
Smoothie.
Yeah. So it has a high do not finish. So if I get through half of it, yay! It's an ultra marathon. I'm not a marathon runner, but it'll be fun. And it gets me in shape, and it's motivating, and I like Taco Bell. So I'm getting up probably around 6:30. I'm doing some row machine. We got a Peloton row machine, and I'll do the bike.
Nice.
And so so doing that in the morning while my wife gets the kids up. They're finally in a phase where they're getting dressed themselves, brushing their teeth, and then we get in the car. I try to instill classic rock and a lot of the some of the music I think is impactful to our kids. So
it's just called rock,
along with Jimi Hendrix and stuff in the car once they're appropriate. So it's our morning music lesson. But on the weekends, yes, I do breakfast. I'll do. I got one of those Blackstone griddles.
I just got a Traeger one. Yeah,
dude, they're so good. I'll do probably every other weekend. I'll griddle out some. I have found a McDonald's healthy McGriddle clone recipe. Mm-hmm. So you make an egg and sausage McGriddle, and you get those little rings. If you haven't gotten those metal rings yet, get those. You put a bunch down. You get the protein pancake mix from Kodiak, and you break eggs. You put eggs in the Kodiak mix. You make the sausage from hand, so it's healthy, no preservatives or anything in there. And you'll griddle them all up. I'll make probably 10 or 20 of those little sandwiches, right? You pack them up, you wrap them, you eat the ones that are there. Kids are eating about 2 eggs per sandwich, which is great. You have some to eat throughout the week in case, you need them. Girls like to eat them as a snack in the evening. But then I'll go right from that and I'll do like some stir fry or some fried rice while I'm at the griddle in the morning. It just becomes dad time, listen to podcasts, griddling out.
Yes.
So maybe meal prep through the week. Make some of those little sandwiches that are just packed with protein, keep them full during the day, and then you can just really nuke them, right?
I'm surprised at the amount of stuff I can cook on that thing. Like you're cooking for 2 kids for me and my wife and I, and it's like this. I can cook the entire meal on like a corner of the Blackstone, and I'm like, there's so much room for activities here. Like I could probably cook 4 or 5 meals, or just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy an entire pack of bacon and just cook the entire thing all at once, all just to the side for, or no random, like we're having bacon tonight, and there we go. So it has done the opposite effect of me. Like now I'm just like cooking just to cook. But yeah,
I feel like, but we were talking earlier about TikTok and Reels. There's got to be a whole whatever you call sub talk on like dads making breakfast,
Blackstone,
and all the things. I feel like you need those.
Yes,
you need those
there you go.
pancake.
There you go.
Like you can get the pancake squirter, so you can make like character pancakes, like that kind of. That's the next level. Like I'm making whatever bluey pancakes in the morning now. I got blue, and I've got white, and I've got yellow, and.
We need like a Blackstone competition at DynamicsCon, and like Bobby and I will be the judges and be like, "Jokes on you! We canceled catering. You're making breakfast."
You're the ones. People are lining up, and you're like, "We just hand you a chef hat, and that's it. That's you."
It's your time to shine.
It's your time to shine, boys.
I was at a go live while I was at HEB for one of our bread facilities, our manufacturing facilities, and I was joking around with the plant leader, like, "Hey, I will bring a Blackstone to this go live if you give me some tortillas straight off the line, like just." And you get, he's like, "All right, bet. Like, you know how many people are in this manufacturing facility? You just signed up to make breakfast for 100 people. So,
sign this contract here, and you're hired."
So, legitimately, like, got there. We of course went to HEB to get the breakfast, like ingredients and stuff. I was cooking for maybe 3 hours, and it was just like. They were like, "Oh yeah," they just kept coming back.
Well, you're always cooking, by the way. Just in life, you're cooking. I mean, just that's your motto. Bo Shuiso, I'm always cooking.
I have to. Yeah. Anyway, that was probably my favorite go live. I don't know, Justin, Bobby, you guys have like a go live that you'll never forget. I try to forget the hard ones. For the
Never
for the
one
mental
with fresh
health,
breakfast off the line. I've not had that. Yeah.
I don't forget the lessons learned that made them a difficult go live, but I also like try to blank out the mental trauma it caused.
Sorry, the PTSD for me. Summit 2019. I under duress was forced to go live on a website art approval system that we were upgrading. We had rewritten it. Off of some older technology, and we were rewriting into some newer technology. It didn't feel right, but the company that had purchased Uray, the main guy was like, we're doing it. We told him when we have it done. It's like, I know, but we're not ready. And he was like, so we're doing it. And so, yeah, I spent the entire summit in a hallway, just putting out fires and fixing issues. And I think I went to one session because I was speaking at it, and that was it. The rest of that summit was either me in my hotel room coding and fixing issues, or me in a hallway coding and fixing issues. So that would probably be the one that popped in my mind. Even though it is a PTSD story, it was the one.
I graduated my bachelor's during my worst go live. I was on the tech bridge on my AirPods, while I was walking. I still shook hands, was still on the tech bridge, and was like, "Okay, yep, we gotta get back to this."
Iconic.
I've got to move us on to AI because this is an awesome conversation, but man, we're churning through time here. We wanted to talk to Justin about AI adoption. Justin, you've talked about organizations getting ready. I've seen you out there talking about how they can prepare. It's one of the topics I hear from outside of the industry. My wife feel like, my company, they want us to use AI, but nobody knows how to do it, or they're doing it and it fails. So we'd love to talk about that. First, though, we've got you on the BS bunch. And what that means is we've got 3 AI stories for you that have to do with AI horror implementations. One of them is AI generated. You need to figure out which one that is as we play the game we like to call, what do we call it? I don't know what we call it. We call it the BS bunch. So here we go.
2 poops and a lie. I don't know what it's called.
Did you say 2 poops or 2 truths?
2 truths. That's what I said.
I heard poops for some reason. I was like,
I don't know.
Just like, that's weird. It should be two truths and a poop or something, but whatever. Who's going first today? Who's going to read first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm definitely not letting Bree go first because her read last time was
awesome.
like,
and by the way,
Justin, a high bar on the read.
We'll read through each story. We'll give you a second to gauge it on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 being the least BS, 5 being the most BS. Yeah. And then at the end, we'll have you pick the one you think is BS.
Here are 3 stories. But one's BS. With 3 BSers. And just one guest. To whom they tell the stories? Then the guest must make a guess at which story is BS. The BS Bunch.
All right, cool. All right, Bo, hit him.
Okay, this article is from cmswire.com. The title is called Air Canada's Chatbot Promises Unintended Discounts. In a notable incident, Air Canada's AI-powered chatbot provided a customer with incorrect information regarding bereavement fares. The chatbot erroneously assured the customer of a discount that didn't exist. When the customer sought out to claim the promised fare, Air Canada initially refused. However, a Canadian tribunal ruled that the airline must honor the chatbot's commitment, emphasizing the legal responsibilities companies bear for their AI systems' outputs.
Well, that sounds true to me. Absolutely.
Got it. So what are we? Where? So are you on the 1 scale?
You're on
the
one
middle
or
scale? Where are you?
five
It sounded like a straight
or
1 to me. Yeah. Where are you on the BS meter?
Yeah. No, I think that's 1. That's true.
Okay.
100%.
Interesting.
Bree, I'll give you the choice. You can make me go, or you can go. It's up to you.
I'll go.
Okay.
Let me put your narrative skills to shame, Bobby. I'm kidding. All right. Action. The title of the article is Amazon pauses AI hiring tool after it rejects applicants for excessive smiling and profile photos. I found this in the business AI section of Wired. Amazon has quietly paused the pilot program of its AI-powered hiring tool after internal audits revealed it was disproportionately filtering out candidates based on facial expressions and uploaded profile photos. The tool, developed in collaboration with the AI vendor TalentMorph, was designed to analyze resumes and public LinkedIn data to assess professionalism and cultural fit. However, recruiters noticed a troubling trend. Applicants with smiling or overly casual profile photos were frequently flagged as lacking seriousness or potentially unserious about corporate structure. One highly qualified applicant was rejected after the AI labeled his beachside LinkedIn headshot too informal for leadership roles, which is kind of fair. According to internal sources, the model had been partially trained on executive bios from Fortune 100 companies, most of which featured stern, expressionless portraits. Amazon confirmed the tool is under review and emphasized that final hiring decisions were never solely made by AI. That's cap. Still, the company said its plans to re-examine the weight assigned to visual cues in its AI models going forward. And that's it.
Okay.
So Amazon dissing its profiling software in hiring practices. What do you think, Justin?
Well, that's a lot of admissions from them about things that could have a lot of implicit bias, right? So are we trying to determine if that article was true or not?
Yep. Was that a true article, or some of these may have been massaged for time factor? You know, it could have been
wired
slightly.
too, like internal source.
I would say that was not a thing. That probably is based on a lot of speculation. Otherwise, we would see a lot of things out there about lawsuits and potential damages. Right? I'd be in trouble because my MO is very much of what you see is what you get. I'll smile a lot, and if they're like, "Ooh, he must be hiding something," So no, I think other news articles would have come out about that, and I didn't hear about that one. So I'd say that's completely false.
So you're putting that on the 5.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you got to hear mine first before you make your final decision. So I'll give you mine.
Lock it in. Yeah.
Yep, lock it in after that. My story is coming from CIO.com. McDonald's ends AI experiment after drive-through ordering blenders. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, they aren't loving it. After working with IBM for 3 years to leverage AI to take drive-through orders, all the folks at McDonald's could do was grimace, pulling the plug on the anticipated advancement. The reason? A slew of social media videos showing confused and frustrated customers trying to get AI to understand their orders. One TikTok featured 2 people repeatedly pleading with AI arches to stop after it kept adding more and more chicken nuggets to their order, eventually leading to a total of 260 nuggets. No word on what AI did with the dippin' sauces, perhaps a gallon or 2? Ronald McDonald was not clowning around when he announced his namesake would end its partnership with IBM and shut down the AI technology.
Wonder if they got charged for that. 250 nuggets?
Leave it. I can eat them.
Yeah, they don't go bad. I mean, you watched the Super Size Me. Those nuggets last a year or 2 at least.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
You know how many logic apps you can make for 250 chicken nuggets?
We're to just measure all currency now in chicken nuggets. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that that's 100% true. I think that the way that article was written, in my opinion, had too many puns for AI to be able to do that. I think they were funny. I think that's very much an actual person writer. That's the tricky thing with AI, right? You don't know the difference between the two. I always like to talk about good AI has parity with people. You're importing data from one system into Dynamics 365 sales orders, right? It's a good integration when there's no problems, and you can't tell which sales order came from which, either an integration or natively, other than sales origin. Same thing with AI. So, entirely possible these are just fantastic AI models, and all of them are false.
All right, we're at that moment, that who wants to be a millionaire moment. What is your final answer on? I assume you're giving my story a 1 on the BS meter.
True. So that true, false, true.
Okay, so you're going to go with Bree's story as being the false story.
Not that I don't trust you, Bree, but
Bree, is your story the false story?
Yes, you're the first one to guess it. He's too good. How he was talking about AI, I was like, oh man, he's definitely gonna get it.
I love the logic you put into that analysis, Justin, because that's key. And you're right. I mean, the article I took, and I think we kind of all do this a little bit, it was a long article, so I had to condense it, and I did add things like ba da ba ba ba. That was me adding that.
Yeah, it's coming from so many different sources, and cultural references and everything. I was going to ask if you wrote that one, Bobby. So
I wrote again. I enhanced it. We'll say it wasn't as funny as what I read. I did enhance it with a few key points.
I'm loving it.
I'm loving it. Yeah.
I
spent way too much time looking at McDonald's related puns and like character names and like, can I fit the Hamburglar in somehow? It's like, no, it's too much. I'm going overboard.
Became a method actor and just ate McDonald's for 30 days. And
Yeah, exactly. Just living there trying to write this article.
Should have this podcast brought to you by McDonald's, because I mentioned turtles earlier.
I wish we all had like nuggets and fries.
Yeah.
You gotta reach out.
Congratulations! This is a big honor.
Yeah.
We'll have a prize for you. Last week we had a natural prize because Kate, Brianna's story was and it was a true story. It was so crazy. It just came up with a great idea on it. But we'll have some prize for you, some award, some banner you can put on LinkedIn that you can show that you were the first to out BS the BSers. That's a big honor, man. Yeah, right up there. I mean, it's got to be up there with your MVP award for sure. I'm guessing. Yeah.
Or slightly above it.
We'll have a link for you to order your BS award kit.
Yeah. Blackstone bobblehead or something.
An extension to your griddle. Yeah, an extension to your Blackstone on its way to you. Let's talk about AI. Let's dig into it because we got a few minutes here. We got about 20 minutes to kind of get into the root of people being prepared. Like these were stories that made up, some true, where the AI did not work out. People went about it, implemented, maybe they didn't think about the implications. Love to hear your initial thoughts on preparing an organization. Like where do they start? What are the top steps in getting ready to do this?
Yeah. So preparedness is important. Understanding the why is, a huge thing. Like, why are you adopting AI? All too often we go in and we're talking ERP, we're talking point of sale, e-com, master planning, total WMS revamp. And there's always these days someone in the organization that mentions AI. We always joke on our side how Microsoft will always talk about Copilot. And oh my gosh, 90% of these sessions were all about Copilot or AI. Same thing's happening on the customer side where they're talking about AI. And we're at that like 8 or 9-year-old phase, right? Where, they're playing soccer or doing something and they have great capabilities until they don't. And then they'll trip and fall, or run into the goalpost, or, have some major mishaps. But for the most part, it's doing pretty well. And I think, we'll see it start to mature. We'll see it come into its own. And at the moment, everybody's trying to understand the art of the possible. We say, why are you trying to adopt AI? The answer is, well, we need to know what it does so we can tell you why. Well, what are your business issues that you have? And so it becomes this continual conversation. So I think the best advice for a organization on this is to have those real, honest conversations about why. Be your own devil's advocate. Like, what are you trying to get out of this? Where are your weak points? Honestly, where are your weak points? Where can we make improvements? Could AI come into place? Put a pin in it. And then finally, education, right? Microsoft Learn. I love everything Microsoft does. I love all the people there on the Learn group. The enablement that they're doing, I think, is fantastic. But it's also important for everyone to get out and do their own research outside of just Dynamics and AI or Office and Copilot AI. There's a AI Code Fest right now. If you're listening to this podcast, a year from now, and it's not something that's happening, you can still go out and look because this scenario is valid. There's a Minecraft track for AI that's teaching people starting at the age of 8 years old about AI concepts.
Wow.
That's
And
cool.
it's right there on AI Fest. If you search Microsoft AI Fest, you'll see it. So, hey, if you just feel like you have too much stuff going on at work, I can't learn AI. It's tough. Well, how about you put on the mom or dad hat or the uncle hat, aunt hat, or grandma, nana hat, and find these things and say, hey, I'm going to learn and do this with my kids, this AI Minecraft thing, and learn a little bit about it. And has nothing to do with my day job, but I'm helping them out. It's fun. We're bonding, and it's potentially going to be applicable to what I'm trying to do over here. And then you can start understanding more of the art of possible language learning models. Learn it together with them. I made bread with my oldest daughter yesterday, and we're both figuring it out. And thankfully, it came out good. But it's a bonding thing. So, if you're going to spend time doing work stuff, why don't we try to find a way to do it with our kids? So time should never be something to stop you. Learn outside of the Microsoft sphere, dig into Google's stuff, dig into, search YouTube. A lot of people are just spending their time creating videos, talking about new models, there's more than just Chat GPT. I think the more we just kind of casually get into it, that will all bleed over into our day jobs.
So what I'm hearing is, like, from a standpoint of an organization, is that if you're not doing it, create space for like what you would call skunk works, or just some people who are interested, who have the passion, the acumen to sit around and just kind of think about the art of the possible. The percentage of people just going in and doing it and then failing has increased crazy. It was like almost 200-300%, like from 17% failure to about 55% failure rate on AI related projects in an organization. So that's pretty, that's a pretty big jump in just a year's time, because so many people, like you said, are just like, we got to do it. How though? But there's a line too of like paralysis of analysis, right? So you don't want to think too long because you want to do it. So
yeah, and decision paralysis is a very real thing, and the cost of doing nothing isn't nothing. So it's better to go out there and pilot and try things. You mentioned the McDonald's story. I was in Orlando last year for I guess it was December, yeah. And we got in super late, and the only thing that was open was White Castle, which is awesome because I love White Castle. But they had in Orlando the world's largest White Castle, and they had that AI um, ordering system. And I got a crave case, but it started ordering 3 crave cases. And I was like, no, only one. And then it started adding fries, and something was all messed up on it, microphone. And so
you're like, oh, okay, yeah.
Midnight snack. All right, you know me.
I'm expensing this. So.
Yeah, and then it stopped responding. The whole thing just went to like this blank screen. It was like PC attendant. And I was like, okay, well. And literally the guy's thing was like, I know, it's trying real hard.
Yeah, it got petulant with you. It's like, fine, if you don't want to order 20 cases, then I'm not going to talk to you anymore.
Yeah,
screw you.
I need 30. I can't.
Upsell agent. Just you wanted one White Castle sandwich, but what about 30?
If that was the sales model that was rolled in there, just you didn't know they had a large language sales model like cross pollinated, so it didn't know the difference. It was just trying to upsell you.
Yeah,
called supersize me.
Yeah, I was getting a little frustrated, so I think it translated one of my curse words into fries.
Which one could that be? Yeah.
Fudge.
Yeah. Fudge equals milkshake. Yeah.
Highly trained AI.
Yeah.
How do you see? How do you encourage companies to just jump in? We talked about this like decision paralysis, and the cost of doing nothing is actually not nothing. How do you encourage companies that you're talking to find that like minimal viable product to start jumping in and applying AI to? And how do you like encourage like that art of the possible, or like an envisioning session to suggest like, hey, you can apply AI anywhere, but that's almost like too broad of a thing. And we have the same kind of concept in ERP, right? We don't go into gap analysis saying, what would you like your ERP to do? We ask very specific questions like, how are you seeing that work on the AI side?
Yeah. So I think there's bottom-up decisions and top-down decisions. The top-down is almost where we're always hearing AI in any sales cycle or an implementation, right? All the buzzwords, the envisionment. The people at the actual executions, the doers, the people that are living this day to day, they know what they don't like. And so I feel like sometimes people are trying to revolutionize the business with AI at the top, and it's you're trying to eat an elephant one spoon at a time, but it's so daunting. There's a lot of benefit to user enablement at the bottom level and saying, is there a way that AI could help you with a small task and get a small win? Yeah, maybe only saves you an hour or two a week, but if you do that across 6 people, okay, now we're saving 12 hours of work, and everybody's happier. And when your job's easier, you find a way to to streamline a data import that someone's doing manually, and you can somehow find AI and Power Automate to do this. Great, then they're happier with their job and they can start innovating and finding other things, different revenue streams. So what I like to do and what I always like to say is find a way to do user enablement, to have them learn AI, identify what their pain points are. Everyone has a different list of pain points, different priorities. And if they can try to go out and find something that helps better their career, better their day-to-day, no one's ever going to say if you learn AI, it's not going to ever apply to your actual career or further you. I think that's silly. Who knows what 10 years down the line is going to be? So invest in your people and listen to your people, and then empower them with the ability to start exploring. So sometimes that's access to a test environment and a subject matter expert to help enable them to get them to do something so they can test it out and, hey, what's it going to take to go live, right? We don't want phantom tech, but let's give them a path to create something and apply it to their production. So that way you're not necessarily crowdsourcing so much as crowd enabling. And that really is the way that Microsoft is going, as long as you set the appropriate boundaries, much like the example of the airline, I believe it was American Airline earlier, Bo, where clearly that was created without a data source showing the current pricing and promotion. And the chatbot was just like, yeah, I'll give you 20% off. Like, these have to be actual promotions, and they have to be able to provide something that links it back to when you provide any kind of a pricing or a promotion or a discount. Talk about when it started and when it ends, and here's the code that you can reference, right? And if they don't have that, then you can't provide a promotion. And so by adding these very discrete boundaries in there, I think you can put rails. And sometimes that means someone's building something as a proof of concept, right? Like for Power Platform, we had the PL 100 exam, which was the makers, right? Creating things that may not necessarily go into production. And then you have the PL 200 exam, right? Which is the actual functional developer type folks who are going to go in, take this proof of concept, harden it, make it available offline, some of those things, and promote it to prod. But at least they have their design spec that they know is going to meet the requirements of the user. And the user feels better because they made it and they own it.
Yeah, they get involved.
Yeah, just a little thought on this.
Bree, I was thinking about, like, we talked about this a couple months ago with Drew around adoption, and we don't really have like an AI initiative at Doug. I don't know if you folks have one at Kafka Code of like a true AI initiative or whatever. But it doesn't mean, to Justin's point, that we aren't kind of personally doing it. Do you feel like you're doing more in AI to kind of build up to, like, hey, you'll be able to come with ideas? Or
Yeah, I mean, I think for like an AI organization standpoint, I think AI can be beneficial to all of our different roles. I think especially with like Bob and sales, with the integration of HubSpot, like the AI tools have helped make him more informed decisions. With me and creating, honestly, keeping my head straight with sponsors, I just like word vomiting information, especially at this point with DynamicsCon. But I would like to see in Doug, and I think in all like companies, a more structured way of like implementing AI into like our daily lives. And I think that like with guidance, as somebody who I don't really like know too much, I just kind of use chat as like my bestie, my assistant. But I think like with structure, with training, with education, like it could really help all of us as humans and as individuals. What about you, Justin? Do you like have any hopes for AI in different organizations? Do you have any hopes to see like in the future?
Yeah, so I think in the future it's going to be less about data entry and us executing jobs, and more AI giving us recommendations on what those should be, and then us confirming or denying, right? So more click, less I'm entering all my data in. So hopefully we can streamline a lot of tasks and jobs there. We're not eliminating jobs, we're just allowing people to do more in less time.
you're nuancing them.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, one of the things that I'm looking for AI, and I posted something on LinkedIn just recently about this, but big thing for me is fraud, combating fraud and loss, and being a retail person. That's always been big. And Bobby, I don't remember if you were in my session that I was giving. This was 2014. Just after I was an MVP, and it was about turning the mag stripe on a hotel key card into a credit card, and all the different things that you would do to do this, to steal my own card, put it on this. Hey, people can do that. That's why you should ask, hey, can I see your card? Validate that it's there. It's not a Hilton card. You just swipe. I did that, and then I was promptly told that you cannot teach people how to steal credit cards, and I did it.
You got one guy in the front row, like vigorously taking notes. You got a problem.
I feel like you skipped a step there. Like, what exactly happened?
Are you sure about step 3 there? Because that feels a little.
And I
You said run as admin?
I went into very, very in-depth detail on exactly how to do it as more of a white hat, right? So you knew what they were doing and the steps that you can take before that chip and pin took hold, right? So now it's kind of the same thing with AI. So a lot of people are doing things with AI where they, hey, let's say, Bree, that you are my target at an organization. You're in charge of the AP bank accounts for ACH for all your vendors. Bobby, you are one of those vendors. I'm going to pop on a call with you pretending to buy, seed, right? You're a farmer. You're sourcing debris. I get on a little 10-minute meeting with you. I map your face, everything else, your voice patterns, put it in an AI model. Bree, I call you up pretending to be Bobby Small. Hey, well, let's get on a phone call, video call, just so I can verify you are who you are. I put a mask on, right? All those filters, and it looks like me. Sorry, I'm in bad reception. I'm on let's just do it quick. Here's the new numbers, punch them in, thumbs up. Now you put that in, and now you're making payments to who you think is Bobby, but it's going to my bank account.
Yeah.
And so we're going to start seeing more social engineering, because the weakest part of any organization in terms of fraud are the people. So how do people interact with AI, and how can AI and people be used to scam people, even though you think you're doing all of your due diligence here? So
Bree and I have a three-way, or whatever they're called, factor authentication. A human. We'll, yes, if it's really her, we have a whole thing. Yeah. Yeah.
You can't give that out. Yeah. We have to edit this part out of the
That wasn't the real thing. That was the fake thing.
Just a very Jurassic Park of you with the box worth.
Yeah. No, I was just saw an article, the same thing, where it's the next level of the the African prince getting the fax, getting the phone call. It's getting the phone call from your son, who looks like your son, who sounds like your son, who's saying, I'm in jail, and knowing enough to slow down and start to look for those keys, like, oh, it's just bad reception. I'm sorry, I can only talk for 1 minute. Those weird keys that you can pick up on that will make it we'll start to clue it in as fraud, because it's next level fraud.
Yeah.
The weakest link has always been the people.
It's always the people. So when people ask me,
this is just like the evolution of this whole thing. Like, where a lot of companies have been doing for the last 5 to 15 years, these like cyber security awareness trainings, where you're like, make sure you're identifying smishing or phishing or whatever the soup du jour of phishing they're trying to.
But it's always the humans. Always 100%.
It's always been humans.
When your organization, your execs say, hey, can't you stop these emails from coming through? No, never.
No.
You could block this port, you can block that address, but they're just going to proliferate, expand, exponential. You can't. You can only educate your humans.
Yeah, there's some really fun ways to do physical pen testing. So there's a company, I'm not going to say the name, that has rubber duckies, basically fake USBs that you can plug into your drive. It goes in, roots it, does something, blasting. Basically disables your control for like 5 minutes, and then starts blasting, some kind of a funny song, Rick roll somebody in the office. But all you have to do is take this thumb drive and put, the 3-letter initials of the company that you're at, and do acquisition or something like that, and confidential on the back. So you just leave it on like a sidewalk, and then someone's like, "Oh, fun! What's this?" They'll grab it and they plug it in. Then you instantly know that person did a breach.
Bree is literally taking that out of her computer, and I was like, "My rubber ducky."
I thought Doug was getting acquired.
So, all sorts of funny ways to test your physical security, but between physical security, the human element, AI, everyone's trying to get you and your data and your money. So that's kind of where my passions are going. And I'm going to create some news articles about it. Both in, hey, there's some ISVs out there that you guys can look at using. There's internal processes and procedures that you need to start implementing. Things that are really outside of, Microsoft documentation. It's more, business processes and best practices.
We're winding up. I'm gonna wrap us up. We've got 2 minutes. Let's go around real quick, Bree. Just a temperature check on where your generation friend set is with AI. Because we're all I think we're in 3 distinct buckets. I think Bo and Justin are probably close in age. I'm older and Bree's younger. So are they adopting or are they not adopting? Is it, what's it like?
Yeah, definitely adopting. I've had friends, like I said, use chat as like their best friend. It's like, how do I send this breakup text to my friend? Like drafted in AI.
So they're deep in it. Perfect.
Yeah, definitely.
Justin, what about that's outside of your industry friends, but your general like peer group who aren't like in this zone? Are they for it, against it, in the middle?
They're kind of in the middle. So my wife is VP of the PTA, so she'll do like Canva and create some things with Canva on that. I'll use it a little bit to help with PowerPoints, but I still like the way that I do things, and I think it hasn't nailed the style every time I've done it. So I'm like half and half. I get the need for it, but.
Bo?
So a majority of my friends that are not in this industry, I'm the nerd. So like back when ChatGPT became like started popping off, I was in the early preview. That's how like nerd I was. I got all of them invested in it from there, and so they're all in.
You're a
They're
nerd
like, oh
Pied
yeah, I'm
Piper.
using
You were
this
just
all
like,
the time.
and they're all
Yeah.
following you.
My wife's using it also on Canva, doing stuff for her job. She's a trainer to be a nurse. So they're they're all in, and they're kind of using it for work. For me, it's like we saw this last year where there was almost this like faux pas about using it at your work, and now like even at CaptaCode, we've made like a complete 180 from that perspective of like encouraging it. So like that almost becomes our like first or second question of like, hey, instead of like, have you Googled this? Like, wait, what does ChatGPT think about this kind of scenario that you're asking me about? Okay, I also agree with them. So let's go with your bestie on this answer, and go there. So yeah.
AI is definitely my bestie at times. I love bouncing things off of it. I'm with Justin too, though. It doesn't know my voice or my style, so I'm still using it for ideas. My generation, I'm early Gen X. They're not loving it. So they're with McDonald's and their AI tech. No, there are a lot of people just still like, oh yeah, somebody had an AI bot that did this, and it's not quite a thing yet. But I'm doing my best, Bo. I'm trying my hardest to show them the ways in technology advancements. I've, like you, have always been open to and trying to be on that cusp. So I know we're on time. I know Bo said you've got to drop. I think we all have to get back to our real fun lives. Justin, thank you so much for joining us, man. It's good to see you.
Great
see you in
job.
person soon. Yep, and thank you to the rest of the BSers. Great. We lost today, but we lost against a pretty formidable opponent. So we'll do it again next time.
Good to see you guys.
We will beat the humans next time.
Bye, guys.
Take care, everybody.